So this is my 2025 winter solstice adventure ride. This one I came up with last summer. I think it was around about November when the Northside folks were telling me all about how rad their trails are over there. So I thought, why not link all of the trail parks that I can in Sydney into one ride. And what I have finally settled on is about a 250 kilometre ride with 12 mountain bike trail sort of networks amongst it. Some of them are Royal National Park, Mill Creek, Wylde, Cherrybrook, Cove National Park, Oxford Falls, Cascades, Red Hill, Narrabeen, Manly Dam, as well as a pretty hefty commute on the way home also. This is pretty much on the shortest day of the year, so it's a bit cold and a bit windy, but the day really turns on. It's nice and sunny. I'll talk you through the trails, I'll talk you through the high points and the low points throughout, but it's an amazing journey to actually go and sample all of the trails of Sydney in one ride. Having lived in Sydney my whole life and riding the local trails on the south side of Sydney a lot, and then occasionally visiting the North Shore and some of their trail spots, it was nothing like what I thought that I would feel after I finished it. Really amazing journey. Let's have a look at it. Still dark. Already done the Royal National Park trails, so Loftus and Heathcote. Now I'm just gonna cut across through Engadine, up Needles, which is a big climb after a river crossing, and then over to Lucas Heights and Mill Creek for a quick lap around there next. Hopefully we'll see some sunrise soon. It's pretty dark still. The trails have been great so far. Mill Creek, tick. Pretty rocky out here, super fun. Almost sunrise though, so better keep a wriggle on. Done a fair bit of work out at Mill Creek, and yeah, probably my second local trail network. They're real proactive, so stoked on that the trails are getting better and better. Exiting Mill Creek now. Probably the biggest commute of the whole ride now to Wylde. So a lot of urban road bike path, and hit it along the M7 bike path in a little bit. So bit of commuter traffic. Nice sunrise though. So yeah, see what the day has to offer.
Pretty nice. You can see the city skyline in the distance. Makes it feel like a bigger adventure than what it is, maybe. I don't know. Love the sunrise though. So nice. Massive view from the top of Wylde here. South Sydney, Western Sydney, the Blue Mountains across there. Super clear day. Penrith. I think Penrith's over that way maybe. Over to the northwest as well. Pretty amazing clear day today, so pretty excited to actually check out some of these trails at Wylde. Apparently they're some of the smoother ones of Sydney, so let's go and find out. Well, a good sampling of the Wylde Trails. Found an awesome wall ride and good flow. It's actually like, the flow is actually really good and it is honestly quite smooth in places overall. It's not too rocky or anything like that. There's some imported rock. Actually saw a trail crew out there working. Awesome. Bit of a stitch up with the Strava map, but I've made it out alive, so on we go on the M7 again. So I've made it through Castle Hill at Cherrybrook now, so just gonna have a look around and the Barara Valley National Park. No dogs, no motorbikes. Refuge Rock Trail, here we go. Cherrybrook's pretty rad. Big rock slabs, pretty tech. Cherrybrook is some fun natural style trails. Similar to National Park actually, Royal National Park. We're just a little bit more jagged and a few more big rock slabs that they've used in the trail. So the Cherrybrook Trails are part of the National Park, and I think this might be part of the Great North Walk as well. It's all pretty rad. Bit of a berg here. Whoa. H2O was pretty sick. Good mix of flowy, bit of bermed up stuff. It's still very much natural. On to Old Man's now and lunch. Bit over halfway, I think. Old Man's Valley's up next. Been here before, super fun. Probably been about 10 years though since my last ride here, so see what it's like. Well, we're at Hornsby. Old Man's Valley was pretty rough and pretty eroded, but the trail crews are actually down there working on rock armory and stuff like that at the moment. So it's actually amazing to see how many people are out there working on the trails at the moment in Sydney. I'm really surprised at it. The commute between H2O and Old Man's was absolutely brutal. A couple of huge climbs in there. Update from Cove National Park. Just went down a downhill trail. Absolutely crazy. Did have to walk a couple of bits. Dang. Slower going than anticipated, but pretty nice in here. Beautiful, actually. Cove National Park river crossing. How wet am I gonna get? Never trust Strava maps, unless you love a stitch up, which I don't mind, but this is not that fun. Made it to Oxford Falls. Rock slabs are plenty. This is what we're looking at. Tech trails, pretty dry still, which is pretty good, so see how we go. Jesus. Oh. Nearly ended up in the drink, crossing this river. Quite wet. Quite slippery too. How nice though. Oxford Falls Trails is pretty rad. What's left of them anyway. Definitely trail bike territory. 100%. Strava does love a downhill trail. Just took another year or two, I reckon, off my life. Craziness. There's not in XC bike territory here. Climb out from Narrow is tough. Stop at Red Hill pretty much now. Manly Dam loop to finish. Bit hungry. You ready for a second stop, I think, soon? Going well. Epic day. Just sneaking into the north side of Manly Dam now. A relief, to be honest. The last section was tough. homeward bound. It's been a pretty epic day, big adventure. It's going to take a little while to think about like what is the highlight, what is the best trail. So much. Narrabeen was super fun. Would love that on an enduro bike. Made it to the harbour bridge. Just gonna wait for my buddy Chris and then we're gonna ride home together. So yeah, another hour I would say, and that'll be that. Push up the bridge. Too many people to ride.
Oh yeah. Freaking did it. And it's not even sunset.
No.
I can't believe it. I was like, you beat me.
I did short one little bit because I was over it by then, but
I don't know that.
it's okay.
Far out.
Yeah, man, got real muddy at the end. Only the end though.
You look surprisingly clean, to be honest. I did just put that back. Okay. Far out.
What a finale. This is your saddle cover.
It's not, but my butt's okay. But how's your butt up?
My butt's okay actually.
How many Ks have you done?
225 maybe, something like that. I've actually got my computer on sleep mode because there's not much battery left. The old Strava routes on the mountain bike is not ideal and the computer just hemorrhages power when you take a wrong turn, so.
On the rerouting.
Yeah, but you really don't need to reroute, you're just doing it, so.
Talk to me. Which park would you go to? Would you go back to?
I wouldn't go to one, I would just buy a trail bike. Sydney is for trail bikes, not XC bikes. I think the Narrabeen enduro trails are hectic, like proper hectic. But there was also one bit at Oxford Falls where I was like, my bike is not made for this. Like just huge roll downs, like big rock slabs, and yeah. It's a little bit different from the south side for sure. And Wylde is actually really good too. It's like, we actually do have a very broad range of trails quite close, which I'd always just complain about the trails being not good or too wet or this or that, but they're actually really cool. Saw people working on them.
That's cool.
Yeah, like a couple of different trail places. So I feel like I've actually got a little bit of a different appreciation for them than I did. Used to, not a hater, but didn't love it. Whereas there's actually a lot to like. There's a couple of trails that I thought would be better and they were worse. And the worst ones were better, so it all equals out, I suppose. Final thoughts would be, there is actually a huge amount of trails in Sydney and they are actually awesome. And I wouldn't have said that yesterday, and today I will.
That's a win.
Yeah.